Good morning, student. This is our part third of the chapter Manufacturing Industry, lesson 5 in Geography for class 10th. So, in this part, we are continuing as earlier we have talked about the aluminium industry and the cement industry. We have talked about the jute and the fiber industry. Now we are continuing the other industry which play a very important role in Indian economy. Now among them chemical industry is also very important. The chemical industry in India is fast growing and diversifying. It contributes approximately 3% of the GDP. It is the third largest in Asia and occupies the 12th place in the world in terms of its size. It comprises both large and small scale manufacturing units. Rapid growth has been recorded in both inorganic and organic sector. Inorganic chemicals include sulfuric acid, which is used to manufacture fertilizer, synthetic fiber, plastic, adhesive, paints, dyes, stuffs. Nitric acid, alkalis, soda ash used to make glass, soaps and detergents, paper and caustic soda. These industries are widely spread over the country. Now, why do we think it is so? That why we think that chemical industry is very important in terms of the GDP growth of India. Organic chemicals include petrochemicals, which are used for manufacturing of synthetic fiber. Synthetic rubber, plastics, dye stuff, drugs, and pharmaceuticals. Organic chemicals plants are located near oil refineries or petrochemical plants. The chemical industry is its own largest consumer. Basic chemicals undergo processing to further produce other chemicals that are used for the industrial application, agriculture or directly for consumer markets. Now that you can see that how the chemical industry plays a very important role, as India is a agriculture based land and we need the high yielding variety of seeds, chemical fertilizers, and so in this production of high yielding variety of seeds and fertilizers, pesticides, we need the chemical industry as we want to produce more and more crop which can enhance our GDP and also satisfy our population need. Now another is fertilizer industry. The fertilizer industry is centered around the production of nitrogenous fertilizer, mainly urea, phosphatic fertilizers and ammonium phosphate, DAP, and complex fertilizer which have a combination of nitrogen, phosphate and potash. The third, that is potash, is entirely imported as the country does not have any reserves of commercially usable potash or potassium compounds in any form. Here we are lagging behind. India is the third largest producer of nitrogenous fertilizer. There are 57 fertilizers units manufacturing nitrogenous and complex nitrogenous fertilizers, 29 for urea and 9 for the producing ammonium sulfate as byproduct, and 68 other small units produce single superphosphate. At present, there are 10 public sector undertakings and one in cooperative sector at Hazira in Gujarat under the Fertilizer Corporation of India. After the Green Revolution, in industry expanded to several other parts of the country. Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, and Kerala contribute towards half the fertilizer production. Other significant producers are Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Rajasthan, Bihar, Maharashtra, Assam, West Bengal, Goa, Delhi, Madhya Pradesh, and Karnataka. These are the other important states which produce the you can say chemical fertilizer. Now cement industry. Cement is essential for construction activities such as building houses, factories, bridges, roads, airport, dams, for other commercial establishments. This industry requires bulky and heavy raw materials like limestone, silica, alumina, and gypsum. Coal and electric power are needed apart from rail transportation. The industry has strategically located plants in Gujarat that have suitable access to the market in the Gulf countries. Now, the first cement plant was set up in Chennai in 1904. After independence, the industry expanded. The control of price and distribution since 1989 and other policy reform led to the cement industry to make rapid strides in capacity, process, technology, and production. There are 128 large plants and 332 mini cement plants in the country. India produces a variety of cement. Improvement in the quality has found the produce a readily available market in East Asia, Middle East, Africa, and South Asia, apart from a large demand within the country. This industry is doing well in terms of production as well as export. Efforts are being made to generate adequate domestic demand and supply in order to sustain this industry. Here we are talking about the cement industry. Now, automobile industry. Automobiles provide vehicles for quick transport of goods and services and passengers. Trucks, buses, cars, motorcycles, scooters, three-wheeler and multi-utility vehicles are manufactured in India at various centers. After the liberalization, the coming in of new and contemporary models stimulated the demand for vehicles in the market, which led to the healthy growth of the industry, including passengers, car, two and three wheeler. This industry had experienced a quantum jump in less than 15 years. Foreign direct investment brought in new technology and aligned the industry with global development. At present, there are 15 manufacturers of passenger cars and multi-utility vehicles, 9 of the commercial vehicles, 14 of the 2 and 3 wheeler. The industry is located around Delhi, Gurgaon, Mumbai, Pune, Chennai, Kolkata, Lucknow, Indore, Hyderabad, Jamshedpur and Bangalore. Now, information technology and electronics industry. The electronics industry covers a wide range of products from transistor sets to television and telephones, cellular telecom, pagers, telephone exchange, radars, computers, and many other equipments required by the telecommunication industry. Bangalore has emerged as the electronic capital of India. Other important centers for electronic goods are Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Pune, Chennai, Kolkata, Lucknow, and Coimbatore. By 2010 to 11, STPI means Software Technology Parks of India have come up across 46 locations at different centers of India. However, the major industry concentration is at Bangalore, Noida, Mumbai, Chennai, Hyderabad, and Pune. A major impact of this industry has been on employment generation. It is encouraging to know that 30% of the people employed in this sector are women. The industry has been a major foreign exchange earner in the last 2 or 3 years because of its fast growing business processes outsourcing BPO sector. The continuing growth in the hardware and software is the key to the success of IT industry in India. Now, industrial pollution and environmental degradation. Although when we started the chapter we have talked about the variety of industries which are so important for Indian economy and to provide a huge number of people at a different level of employment so that they can earn and survive in their life, but at the same time, just because of the so much of industrialization and manufacturing industry, the one challenge which I think everybody is suffering nowadays: industrial pollution and environmental degradation. Although industries contribute significantly to India's economic growth and development, the increase in pollution of land, water, air, noise, and resulting degradation of environment that they have caused cannot be overlooked. Industries are responsible for four types of pollutions that included air, water, land, noise. The polluting industry are also include thermal power plants. Now, air pollution. How the air gets polluted just because of the manufacturing industry? Air pollution is caused by the presence of high proportion of undesirable gases such as sulfur dioxide and carbon monoxide. Airborne particulate materials contain both solid and liquid particles like dust, sprays, mist, and smoke. Smoke is emitted by chemical and paper factories, brick kilns, refineries and smelting plants, and burning of fossil fuels in big and small factories that ignore pollution norms. Toxic gas leaks can be very hazardous with long-term effect. Are you aware of the Bhopal gas tragedy that occurred? Air pollution adversely affect human health, animals, plants, buildings, and the atmosphere as a whole. Now, water pollution. Water pollution is caused by the organic and inorganic industrial wastes and effluents discharged into river. The main culprits in this regard are paper, pulp, chemical, textile and the dyeing, petroleum refineries, tanneries and electroplating industries that let out dyes. Detergents, acids, salts and heavy metals like lead and mercury, pesticide, fertilizer, synthetic chemicals with carbon, plastics and rubber etc. into the water body. Fly ash, phosphogypsum and iron and steel slags are the major solid waste in India. In this way, the water gets polluted in India just because of the manufacturing industry. Now, the thermal pollution, how the thermal plants becoming the cause of pollution. That power plants and the thermal pollution of water occurs when hot water from factory and the thermal plant is drained into river and ponds before cooling. What would be effect on aquatic life? Waste from nuclear power plants, nuclear and weapon production facilities cause cancer, birth defect, and miscarriages. Soil and water pollution are closely related. Dumping of waste, especially glass, harmful chemical, industrial effluents, packaging, salts, and garbage renders the soil useless. Rain water percolates to the soil, carrying the pollutants to the ground, and the groundwater also gets contaminated. Noise pollution. Noise pollution not only results in irritation and anger, it can also cause hearing impairment, increased heart rate, and blood pressure, among other physiologically effects. Now, unwanted sound is an irritant and a source of stress. Industrial and construction activities, machineries, factories, equipment, generators, saws, and pneumatic and electric drills also make lot of noise. Now, how we can control? What are the steps? What are the remedial? You can say treatment for to control the environmental degradation. Every liter of waste water discharged by our industry pollutants or pollutes 8 times the quantity of fresh water. How can the industrial pollution of fresh water be reduced? Some suggestions are: first of all, we have to minimize use water for processing by reusing and recycling it in 2 or more successive stages. Second, we have to harvesting of rainwater to meet water requirement, treating hot water and effluents before releasing them in the rivers and ponds. Treatment of industrial effluents can be done in 3 phases. What are the phases? At a primary treatment by mechanical means. This involves screening, grinding, flocculation and sedimentation. Now, secondary treatment by biological process. Now, third, tertiary treatment by biological, chemical and physical processes. This involves recycling of wastewater. Now, overdrawing of groundwater reserves by industry where there is a threat to groundwater resources also needs to be regulated legally. Particulate matter in the air can be reduced by the fitting smokestacks to the factories with electrostatic precipitators, fabric filters, scrubbers, and and inertial separators. Smoke can be reduced by using oil or gas instead of coal in factory. Machinery and equipment can be used and generators should be fitted with silencers. Almost all machinery can be redesigned to increase energy efficiency and reduce noise. Noise absorbing material may be used apart from personal use of earplugs and earphones. Then, the challenge of sustainable development requires integration of economic development with environmental concerns. Now, one other important notes in the chapter: NTPC shows the way. NTPC is a major power providing corporation in India, National Thermal Power Corporation. It has ISO certification for EMS, Environment Management System. The corporation has a proactive approach for preserving the natural environment and resources like water, oil, gas, and fuels in places where it is setting up power plant. This has been possible through optimum utilization of equipment, adopting latest techniques, and upgrading existing equipment, minimizing waste generation by maximizing ash utilization, providing green belts for nurturing ecological balance, and addressing the question of special purpose vehicles for afforestation. So these are the way. Now next, what the NTPC showing concern towards the saving of environment. Next is reducing environmental pollution through ash pond management, ash water recycling system and liquid waste management. And last but not the least, NTPC has balanced that ecological monitoring, reviews and online debates, database management for all its power stations. So in this manner, NTPC is an organization of India which are favoring the sustainable development. They are favor the modern techniques to improve the manufacturing sector, but at the same time they are also concerned to save our environment by these following methods. This is all about this chapter. In the next video we will talk about the map points, as in this chapter you are also having two maps to cover. And so the theoretical portion of this chapter is almost completed. In next video we will share the map points with you. Till then, take care. Goodbye.